Right, so answering this crucial next question, where does your brand want to be? There are four key stages of your brand at which it will require brand strategy. The first is the creation phase. This is the beginning when you may be in the idea and concept stages before anything is launched. At this time is when you need a good, solid brand plan to follow to make sure you're building the right brand foundations so that when your brand does begin to grow, it can grow the roots, the trunk, and the branches well for the leaves to then bloom, which naturally leads on to the next stage, which is the growth stage. This is if your brand has already launched into the market. You've got some good traction, your business is sound, and now you're ready to expand, invest, and take on big objectives and have a bigger impact. This is the perfect time to have a full brand strategy completed, as every brand element will be needed to give your brand that clear, actionable plan to grow. You also have the transformation stage. This is when your brand is making a complete pivot. Your brand is going in a new direction. You need a clear plan to make sure that not only are you changing the right things, but you're also not hindering or affecting your current brand status. Brand strategy in this stage is so crucial because it can be really confusing when you're facing a big change. So to lessen the risk, you require that clear, actionable plan. Obviously here you can see the stormtrooper in the picture that is doing something well out of alignment. It looks like it's completely pivoted from what it used to do and it's now taking on opportunities. I'm pretty sure that that stormtrooper went through some form of brand strategy. And the last stage you'll find is the adaptation stage, when things around you are changing, like the market landscape, the industry, or the audience behavior, for example. At this point, your brand needs a clear brand strategy to plan out how it will adapt to those changes. So, Batman and a rubber dinghy, you know the market behavior is changing. So we better switch it up quick, Batman. Along with stages, you also have situations like instability, when things are unsettling, like recession or times of high inflation, any economic problems, any environmental problems, or even things like pandemics. Again, in this period, you need a good brand strategy to get you through these tough times so your brand remains focused. The second situation is when things are a bit all over the place. You feel completely overwhelmed and the brand really is just a bit of a mess. At this point, you need a brand strategy to bring you consistency, coherence, and a fresh slate to put all of that on. This doesn't necessarily mean starting from scratch, but more so restructuring from scratch, using what you already have with the brand, the current brand elements, and making changes and improvements where needed. The third situation is the most common. Here, you might find yourself in a situation where you have some parts of your brand elements. It's sort of put together, but there's just a lot of gaps and missing pieces. In this situation, you need a brand strategy to bring authority and clarity by provision of a clear, actionable plan to be able to get those missing pieces, know where they go, and then put everything together. And last but not least, this position is when you just feel stuck. You don't know where to turn or where to go or how to take action, and there's just been no progress with the brand. In this situation, brand strategy is inevitable. Okay, we made it. We know now what brand strategy is, what its purpose is, what it helps with, and when exactly do we need brand strategy. And to summarize it all, I'm going to use this quote: "All can see tactics whereby I conquer, but what no one can see is the strategy out of which victory is evolved." Now, to translate this into a brand perspective, all can see these tactics whereby brands conquer, But what no one can see is the strategy of the brand out of which victory is evolved. So now we understand everything we need to know about brand strategy. And it's time for the most exciting part of this course, to start building your brand strategy framework.